One thing I find interesting about AI is if you take that all the way into the future, we're being shown a technology that will ultimately replace us. And it seems like it's going to force all of our hands to join it or become obsolete. And you can already see people talking about that. How can you compete in the future? How can you be relevant? And then again comes this idea of we have to merge with the machines. We have to have one of these machines. Is that another way to start that narrative in people's brains that that's the ultimate
Well, I mean,
future?
you know, people like Elon Musk say, and others do too, in that his whole crowd, AI is inevitable, there's no stopping it. Well, hold on a minute. This AI system is being made possible by human decisions. For instance, this whole hive mind based on AI control system, which they call the smart grid or the cloud, is dependent on low orbit satellites where human decisions through the FCC in America have decided that they can go up. What if they decided they couldn't go up? Then so much of this would not be possible. It's possible because it's made to be possible because the FCC is a cult-owned organization, just like the CDC and the FDA in terms of drugs and vaccines and all that stuff. And this is what people need to grasp. This global cult, just talk briefly about this and how it works. You've got the spider at the center of a vast global web. That spider is where all this is coming out of. And we can talk about the nature of that spider in a sec, maybe. And so each strand in the web is a secret society, a semi-secret group, or its governments, its government agencies, it's the World Health Organization, it's the big pharma cartel, it's the CDC in America, and so on and so forth. And this is how it works. You've got the spider, this which it's coming out of. And around the spider are the strands in the web that are the most exclusive. You never see the people involved in these. These are real shadow people. They don't put themselves on public display. If you're a Gates or a Schwab, you're still a gopher, right? Of that level. And then you come out from the spider in the web, and you're still in the hidden, but now you start to hit the secret societies we know about. The Freemasons, and I'm talking about the inner core, not Bill and Joe down the lodge. You're talking about the Knights Templar, the Knights of Malta, the inner core of the Jesuit order, Opus Dei, and so on. And then you come out still in the hidden, but then you hit what I call the cusp in the web. This cusp is where the hidden meets the seen. And in this cusp are organizations like the Bilderberg Group, the World Economic Forum, the United Nations, the Club of Rome that was created in 1968 specifically to use fears of environmental disaster to justify dystopia. That's where and other sources, but that's massively where the whole climate change caused by humans hoax came out of, to justify dystopia, which is what it's being used to do. And also in this this cusp part of the web are enormous numbers of what are called NGOs, non-governmental organizations, many of them funded by George Soros. Absolutely his Open Society Foundations. What does that really mean? Open Border Foundations. That's why he's been funding in Europe and America opening the borders for all the reasons that we've talked about. And you have these so-called think tanks. Now, the role of these organizations is to take the agenda emitting from the spider, coming through their hidden, and play it out into the public arena. So when you get into the public level of this web, you're looking at what appear to the public to be random, unconnected organizations. So you'll have the World Health Organization, you'll have Silicon Valley, you'll have the pharmaceutical cartel, you'll have the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC in America, the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, so on, so forth. And these appear to be independent of each other. And for a lot of the people working for them, they appear to be in their daily life. But you go deep enough in these organizations to the inner core, and you are attached, you are meeting that level of that organization that's attached to this web. And at that point, at that level, all these organizations are the same organization. And I'm talking to, it may upset people, it will have to. I'm talking about religions, they operate the same way. I'm talking about political parties, they absolutely work the same way. And so you start then to see a completely different world. Because when the pharmaceutical cartel like Pfizer and Moderna, they go to the CDC to ask for permission to use this COVID vaccine on younger and younger kids down to toddlers. It seems that to anyone looking on, that it's very strange that the CDC would give permission for this jab, given the lack of trials and even some of the things that have gone on in what passed for the trials. Why would you keep giving permission? Why would your witties in the UK and their version of the CDC, why would they be given permission for this vaccine to be played out almost without question? It makes no sense. But then suddenly it does. Because the cult web owns the CDC, and it owns the big pharma cartel. In fact, through the Rockefellers, it created it. It started it. And therefore, what you've got is the cult giving permission to the cult to advance a cult agenda of vaccinating everybody with this fake vaccine. Then you had, right at the start of COVID, you remember, the Silicon Valley corporations like Facebook and so on, and YouTube, what we know about YouTube, suddenly said, we're going to censor any content that is at odds with the World Health Organization version of COVID and national medical networks version of COVID, which is the same as the World Health Organization, because the World Health Organization was created to control, by the Rockefellers, by the way, to dominate and dictate global health response. We saw that during COVID, how that happened. So then you say, if you're an onlooker and you don't know about the web and the connections, you say, hold on a minute. These Silicon Valley corporations, they're supposed to be the town square. They're supposed to be where we share our opinions. What do you mean you're going to censor anybody that doesn't, who challenges the World Health Organization version of COVID? But when you come from what I've just described, the Silicon Valley corporations like Facebook, thank you, Mr. Teal, and these others, YouTube owned by Google, and the World Health Organization, which is massively controlled by Gates, who's a Rockefeller gopher. They're both cult operations. So the cult is censoring the cult version of events coming out of COVID, coming out of the World Health Organization. This is how it works. And once you realize that, you can read the world in a completely different way. Because, people say, do you believe in the conspiracy theory of history or the cock-up theory? As if they're mutually exclusive. You've got to believe in one or the other. No. There are things that happen in the world that they just happen. They are cock-ups, if you like, often. But those that are society changing, society directing, they are not cock-ups, and they're not random. They are coldly calculated. And the other thing about, I keep going back about this, about the alternative media, this hijack core of it, gets all the focus, is its unwillingness in some areas and then stop to go in to the big question, which is, what is the spider? What is it? Where's it coming from?
Hey, I know investing in crypto is scary. It takes a real leap of faith because there are so many scams, rug pulls, and bad actors out there. It's a dangerous business, which is why 95% of people lose all their money. Well, that's why I created the London Real Investment Club, so you can access the hottest deals on the planet and use the crypto bull market to create the generational wealth that you deserve. Join my team of over 100 people from around the world that are making millions of dollars behind the scenes investing in blockchain, AI, Web3 games, DeFi, Bitcoin, and more. Don't miss out. Click the link below to book a call with one of my team now. But hurry, this bull market will end soon.
I know investing in crypto can be scary. That's why you gotta join the investment club. Pull the trigger. Let's do this.